Hey guys, the finals for the Arnold Classic have just finished, and here is your final top 3. From left to right, you have Hottie, Samson, and Rafael, who all looked great. Hottie ended up taking his first Arnold Classic victory, beating the defending champion Samson, who placed second. Rafael placed a well-deserved third place, coming in significantly improved from his previous showing in 2022. Now, before we do get into this video, a like and sub would really help out the channel, and it would be much appreciated on my end. With that all being said though, let's get into this video. Alright, the first pose, the front double, is a great shot for all three guys. My eyes are immediately drawn to Hottie though in the shot, as although he's not as tall, he has the best combination of size and condition. His quads are just as big as Samson's and Rafael's, but on his smaller frame they really stand out. His V-taper is also phenomenal, presenting great flaring lats and a tight midsection. Rafael is the only one who rivals Hottie in the upper body hardness, as his arms show similar separation and he has thin skin all around. Samson has amazing shape and aesthetics, but lacks the separation in the arms that the other two have. I'd say that Samson has the best overall size, however he needs more refinement in the upper body to defeat Hottie. I think his overwhelming size is enough to beat Rafael though, especially the thickness in those quads. However, it is close between them. Hottie just looks so dominant, having huge arms, massive quads, and a great taper. The front lat spread is again a great pose for all of them. This time, my eyes are drawn towards the bigger guys, as Rafael and Samson both look more aesthetic than Hottie. That being said, Hottie has great lats, a tight midsection, and massive legs. However, I do think Samson tightened up a bit from prejudging and looks a lot better in the pose now. Rafael does look great as well, possessing the best aesthetics and shape in my opinion. Nothing really stands out for me from a muscularity standpoint for Rafael, however he looks so statuesque and perfectly put together. From this picture, I'd probably go with Samson in first though, as he is ever so slightly beating out the more conditioned Hottie, who won this pose in prejudging. Hottie could take this one due to his superior lats, thinner skin, and undeniably freakier proportions in the lower body. However, Samson does look improved, and I think he does enough to win. Rafael is close behind, however I think he needs a bit more size in the arms and some muscle maturity as well. The side chest is an interesting pose, as I think this is going to come down to Hottie and Samson. Rafael looks great, don't get me wrong, however his side leg and arm aren't nearly as impressive as the other two. He does have a thick chest, great midsection, and an amazing delt, however I think he still needs a bit more size to defeat these two. In prejudging, I had Hottie beating Samson, and here I think that's still the case. His midsection is twice as detailed and looks much tighter, his arm is just as big and more conditioned, and his side leg, while not as large, has immense detail and greater separation. Samson does have a better chest and a bigger side leg with solid condition as well, however his thicker skin does hold him back. If he had feathered glutes, more detail in the brachialis and arm, and a bigger delt, I could see him winning, however as it is I'd go with Hottie. The rear double is most definitely a slam dunk victory for Hottie, as he has the best back, a great lower body, and solid arms. He looks extremely complete in the pose, having no real weaknesses apart from his smaller stature. Samson looks pretty solid, showcasing similar back development to Hottie in width, however he lacks the same depth and conditioning. Moreover, his glutes and hamstrings aren't nearly as diced as the other two, which holds him back tremendously. Now, Rafael does look solid, showcasing a great, potentially, the best lower body. However, his lower back area is shallow and could use some work. His delts, arms, and upper back are all huge and defined. However, I don't think he can win against the other two. Like I said, this is an easy win for Hottie, as he has the same width as Samson on a smaller frame, which creates the illusion of a larger back. Samson looks great, however his lack of detail in the lower body leaves much to be desired. The rear lat spread is again a take-home pose for Hottie. His back is not only the widest, but it is also the most defined and dense. He has some crazy lower back and upper trap thickness, and everything is perfectly separated. Again, his lower body is the driest in the glutes and hamstrings, which creates for the most complete overall pose. In second, I'd go with Samson, since he has similar back development to Hottie, massive legs, and solid hamstrings. Rafael certainly has width in those lats, however he gets smoked by both Hottie and Samson in the detail and density departments. He does have a superior lower body than Samson, especially in the glutes, however that really isn't enough for him to win the pose. He looks a bit lower body dominant, as his hamstring and glutes are so developed and separated, while his back really needs some improvement. Here's the side tricep, and I originally had Samson winning against Hottie at prejudging, however I'd flip that around and have Hottie for the win. Hottie looks so much tighter and detailed in the midsection, specifically in the serratus, and his arms look twice as separated. He is so ripped and conditioned everywhere to the point where it looks unreal. Certainly one of, if not his best version to date, and definitely a win for him in the pose. I'd even have Rafael beating Samson in the upper body, as Rafael has a much more controlled and defined midsection, better conditioning in the arm, and equally as impressive delt and chest. However, he does fall short in the side leg and detail and things of that nature. Now do let me know down below, can Rafael beat Samson in the pose? I personally think that Samson would win, however, an argument for Rafael's superior conditioning and better aesthetics would hold up as well. The Aban thigh is actually just a ridiculous pose for Hottie, as I never really knew how good his midsection was until this show. Sure, it looked amazing in the past, however, here it looks super unreal. Perfect separation, development, and genetics, plus those amazing quads, makes for the best Aban thigh on that stage. Since Samson isn't really in the pose, let's take a look at another picture. Interestingly, even when Samson is locked in, his midsection looks a bit bloated. His abs aren't the best to begin with, however, them not being flush really makes the pose even worse. He does have great quads and a decent taper, but I'd have him in last because both Hottie and Rafael have great midsections. Speaking of Rafael, I'd have him in second, as although he doesn't have the best abs genetically speaking, he has great lines and amazing shape, plus solid conditioning. The most muscular is the last pose of this comparison, and it showcases the strengths and weaknesses of these athletes perfectly. Hottie looks so ripped and full, however, his shorter frame doesn't make him look nearly as dominant as Rafael or Samson. Samson looks huge here, showcasing round delts, massive arms, and great quads. However, nothing looks super shredded or separated. For that reason, I'd have him in third, because he looks really lackluster without solid conditioning. Rafael and Hottie are definitely close, as Rafael has the size and fullness, but lacks the razor-sharp conditioning and intricate detail of Hottie. I really like Rafael for his round delts, thick chest, and great silhouette. However, in person, Hottie was undeniably winning. His conditioning up close was really unreal, and even pictures don't do it justice. If you guys think he looks incredible here, just imagine this but 10% better. In the transitions, he looked gnarly, and additionally, I think that both Samson and Rafael are standing in front of him, which makes him look a bit smaller than he actually is. Alright guys, that about does it for this video. In short, I think that Hottie 100% deserved the win. He brought his A game, coming in at his all-time best in my opinion, or at least, his top 3 best of all time versions, and shut the door with his trademark conditioning. Samson came in with lackluster, kind of subpar conditioning, and still placed second, which I think was deserved. I don't think that Rafael could have beat Samson here, as he still needs more size, especially from behind, to compete with the top 2 at this show. Still, I think all 3 of them looked great and helped create an amazing Arnold Classic experience. With that all being said, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.